Hey everybody, I'm going to show you how to create a cool reflection on/below an image like this, or even text, any kind of text you want like that. It's kind of in depth, but I'm gonna go pretty slow so that if you're a beginner, you can kind of get a hang of what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, and what you need to do to accomplish the effect that I'm about to show you. So first of all, we want to go to File, New. And you can call it whatever you want. I'm going to call this reflection. And you want to go to, you want to make your width about 490, no, not 490 pixels. Let me see my canvas size. 990. Duh. So you want to go to New, call it reflection. This preset isn't going to look the same on your computer just because it's a preset I have. It doesn't really make a difference. So you don't need to worry about it at all. Make this 990 pixels, and if your value over here says inches or anything else, you can just click on this button right here and make it pixels. So 990 pixels by 390 pixels. Make sure the resolution is 72. I mean, you can make it higher, but for now we don't really need it any higher. Make sure the background contents are white, RGB color, 8-bit, and just press OK. And you'll get a blank template like this. And what you want to do is come over here to your typing tool. You can either click that, and you'll get this little symbol right here, or you can just press T to get the typing symbol. It makes things a lot easier if you just press T. Anyways, so you're gonna drag a box like this, and you're gonna type in anything you want. For now, I'm gonna type my name, Daniel. And you're gonna highlight the text, and you can make it bigger by coming down here and picking something, or you can type it in manually right here, or you can just click this T right here and drag to the right, and it will make it bigger as you do it. That's the technique I like to use. And then you're just going to press the enter button, or if that makes your picture go like this, then press Command Z or Control Z if you're on a Windows computer, and just click one of these tools over here, and you'll get back to the regular. So then you want to come over here and click this grabbing, moving tool, and you can move it around however you want, and the shortcut for that is V. I'm telling you this now because I really hate coming over here and clicking these, so if you memorize the shortcuts for each of these, which you can do by just hovering over them, and it'll tell you right there, it says rectangular marquee tool M, or the polygonal lasso tool L, just memorize those, it'll make things a ton easier. So then you press T again to get back to your typing tool, highlight it, and you can change the color to whatever you want. My favorite color is blue, so I'm going to go with blue. You come up here to this little box up here, and you click it, and then you move this little bar up and down. Take your circle on the inside and just move it around to get the color that you want. Again, I like blue, so I'm going to go with blue. And then come over here and press this to get off of that. And then what you're going to want to do is duplicate this layer down here, this layer, this typing layer. How you do that is right click and push duplicate layer. You can either do that, or what I like to do is press Command J if you're on a Mac, or Control J if you're on a PC. And it'll duplicate it. Now we want to right click and we want to rasterize the layer, and then you want to free transform it. So you can either do I don't really know how to do it outside of the shortcut that I use, because I just like to use shortcuts. So you press Command T if you're on a Mac, or Control T if you're on a PC, and you right click and you push flip vertical. Then you press enter, and you can move it down a little bit to get it to match up just as perfectly as you like it. That's where I like it. Okay. Now what you want to do is you want to put a gradient, a layer mask on this layer. So you come down here to this button down here, click it, and you can see this little box pops up. That's the layer mask, and what we're going to do is come over to gradient right here, click it. If yours says paint bucket, just right click it, and you can click gradient tool. Make sure everything checks out there. Make sure this box up here goes black to white, not any other type of color. You really want it to go black to white, so click that. You get it black to white. Now you want to make sure your opacity is 100%. And you want to start about at halfway point between the two words. Hold down Shift so it goes down a straight line rather than being weird like this. Hold on Shift and go about halfway down and let go, and you'll get an effect something like that. And if your effect looks like this, which is wrong, if it goes white to dark, then just push Control Z if you're on a PC, or Command Z if you're on Windows, if you're on a Mac, excuse me. And then click reverse or unclick reverse to actually you should have reverse clicked. Click reverse and it'll fix your effect, and it'll look like this, like it should look. Now from here you want to come over here to your layers palette and change the opacity down so it's less bold, so it's less apparent, and you can make it look more realistic if you turn the opacity down. And from there you want to click this box rather than the layer mask over here. You make sure you have this box selected, then come to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and blur it a little bit so it doesn't look so crisp, because a reflection wouldn't really look that crisp. So then you blur it a little bit. I like it at 1.3, so push enter to go with that. And then you have your reflection, but we can spice this up a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is add a little shadow below below our words, like I did here. You see this shadow going across like that. It just makes it look more realistic and everything. And so what we're going to do is go back to this layer, our regular typing layer, and press duplicate layer, or Command J like I said before. And then you want to rasterize it again, so right click and go to rasterize type. And then you want to take your marquee tool, which is over here, the square looking dotted line thingy. Just click that bad boy. And you want to come over here and select everything outside, everything from about here, hold on, let me see how I can do this. Select everything from about here up. Because what we want to do is we want to cut everything out that is not below this line. Because that's what we're gonna use to make the shadow. So you can either start here, which is what I do, and cut all this out, or you can start from down here and just cut this out. But I don't know why. It's easier for me this way. So you select that, you click and drag, then you right click inside of the box and push layer via cut, and that's gonna separate the two. And then at this point you should just be able to push delete on your layers palette, and it'll get rid of that. If you move it around, you can see that you've cut it. So just press delete, and if you move it around, now you see you only have the bottom part. And now you want to come down here to the effects button, and you want to go to color overlay. Just make sure you have the copy to layer selected. So like whatever you typed, it'll say Daniel copy to, or if your name's Sarah, it's going to say Sarah copy to. Just whatever. Just make sure you have copy to selected. And then go to color overlay, and we're going to make it black because shadows are not blue. I accidentally deleted it. And now we're going to drag this layer below our regular layer so it doesn't show up above it, because the shadow is going to be under it. And then we're going to come up here to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and we're going to blur it a little bit, not too much. 2.3 looks good to me. And then we're going to bring it down a little bit, and you can kind of see it starting to form already. Move it back up, and we're going to shrink it down a little bit. And what I just did was free transform, so in order to do that, just press Command T or Control T if you're on a PC, and then grab the top of it and just shrink it down a little bit to about right there. Looks good to me. And then you want to move it back up and take your opacity and move it down, because our shadow's not going to be that dark. And you want to do it again. I'm going to move into full screen mode just because I like to work in that better. Come up here and click on this button. It'll say full screen mode or full screen mode with menu bar. I'm going to go full screen mode with menu bar. A shortcut to do that is just push F, and it'll kind of race you through your options like so. I like full screen mode with menu bar. So now we're going to zoom in a little bit. And to do that, you push Command plus or Command minus to zoom out. Or if you're on a PC, push Control plus or Control minus to zoom out, and we're going to free transform. By zooming in, you get a lot more control over what you're doing, because otherwise it'll try to snap to whatever Photoshop likes, and we don't want that. And of course you could turn snapping off, but I'm not going to go into that in this tutorial. So now we're going to go to blur, motion blur, and we're going to make sure our angle is 0, because we want it to go horizontally. I'm going to take our distance, and as you can see, as I drag the bar to the right, you can see my shadow down here stretching. And we just want to get it to, I don't know, a decent, realistic looking shadow, and that's good for me. Turn it down a little bit, and zoom back out by pressing Command minus. Move our shadow up a little bit by pressing the up and down keys. You can kind of nudge it in the way that you want. Just make sure you have your move tool selected. And that looks about right for me. Now, the last thing that we're going to do today